Welcome once again to another fine edition of the Rhythms of New York. I'm Dave Brodsky, your producer and your host, and sitting to the left of me is a woman who needs no introduction, so I'm not going to give her one. Ladies and gentlemen, Celines Bosque.
Okay,
we know that's Celines because that's what it says
right
on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he almost got it right. Celines.
Celines, when you say Celines, you have to use your hands. Well, how are you doing tonight, Celines?
I'm good.
Celines.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay.
You've been busy.
I've been very, very busy. As everybody knows, that I've been in the entertainment business for 25 years, working on another television show. In fact, Al Carlton, who is the director of this program, is going to be working with me on the show. In the past, I've talked about my involvement with the Philippine-American community here in New York, and we're doing a show, a nationwide show, which is going to be a talk entertainment program called Mabuhay Kababayans. Can you say that? Mabuhay Kababayan.
Mabuhay Kababayan?
Mabuhay Kababayan.
Do I need to use the hands or?
Yeah, it's Filipino for like hello countrymen.
Oh, okay.
And one of the women working with us is a woman who's a good friend of mine named Vivian Velasco. And we've talked about Vivian in the past. We've had several Phil acts on the program already. Alpha, who you called a Filipinian, by the way.
I know.
You called Alpha Filipinian.
Like a Puerto Ricanian, right?
Filipina, not Filipinian.
Right.
And we have the happy analogs on the program. Well, you're doing a lot of work too, right? You're up for a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Are they buttered rolls or what?
I don't know, ham and cheese on the side,
ham and cheese. Well, Celines is an actress with a huge fan club, by the way.
I am, so
I don't have
sure
a fan club. She has a fan club. Go to our website and take a look at her fan club information.
Make sure you join.
But Celines is going for film.
I'm for film and television, definitely. I have a couple of projects working with a friend, Ray Boone. He's a writer, and he has some big people on top looking at his work, so let's cross our fingers, everybody.
Well, you can find more about Celines on our website, and Celines also has a MySpace page and a Facebook page.
I do.
In fact, I have a personal MySpace page, and we have a Rhythms of New York MySpace page.
I haven't Twittered yet, though. But
we also have a Facebook page. You know, I like Twitter, but the problem with Twitter is you have people who tell you every 5 seconds what they're doing. Now, I don't care if they're going to a donut store and what flavored donut they want to buy.
So you don't want to know?
Twitter that. I don't care.
You don't want to know if a famous, big-time celebrity is going to
Should I have a chocolate donut or should I have a strawberry donut? I don't care what you're going to have. In fact, if your life is so boring that you're going to have to use your iPhone or your BlackBerry to
See, he's
send
just
a
saying
Twitter.
that because I have an iPhone.
She has an iPhone.
He doesn't like the iPhone.
No, I like the iPhone, but it's instantaneous when you Twitter stuff, right?
So don't Twitter Dave.
No,
I might get on Twitter. I don't know.
Well, I'm on Twitter.
debating.
People can follow me. I mean, I post maybe 1 or 2 comments a day. Today I commented about our show. We have a fantastic artist on tonight. She is a Ukrainian singer-songwriter. Her name is Mila, M-I-L-A, not pronounced Mila. Mila. And her guitarist, not drummer, by the way, her guitarist is spelled J-I-M. How do you pronounce that?
It's Jim.
Jim. Jim.
It's Jim.
They're laughing in the background. Well, we have a really good staff, again, working with us. We have our good friend, Al Carlton, like I mentioned before, directing the show. We have G4 upstairs working audio.
Edwin and little Alexis, who again is helping us on
Alexis
set.
is helping us with production.
Yes.
And we have, like I said, a really, really good show today. And without further ado, here's our friend, Mila.
This song is called I Want to Paint the Planet. It was inspired by my trip to Europe. After I came back, I felt like it would be great to eliminate distances between people. I want to paint the planet. I want to paint the planet. I want to paint it bright. I want to paint a little house, a universe, a whole new life, a planet just for us, a little planet to conquer the night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are still alive, counting the hours before we say goodbye. 10, 11, 12, castles on the shelf, mountains in our pockets, flowers in the hotel. I want to paint the planet. I want to paint it white, where everything's unwritten and untouched by time. Our journey's just beginning, unscripted and unstained, where only pain's forbidden. To paint with no pain. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still alive, counting the hours before we say goodbye. 10, 11, 12, castles on the shelf, mountains in our pockets, flowers in the hotel. Hey, listen, don't let me fly away. I wanna be with you tomorrow, just like I am today. We could be together anywhere, even on the planet that isn't there. I wanna paint the planet, I wanna paint the years, I wanna paint it beautiful where distance disappears. I wanna paint it once, I wanna paint it new, I wanna paint this planet just for you. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are still alive, counting the hours before we say goodbye. 10, 11, 12, castles on the shelf, mountains in our pockets, flowers in the hotel. I wanna paint the planet, I wanna paint the planet, I wanna paint the planet, I wanna paint the planet.
Welcome back to the Rhythms of New York. I'm Dave Brodsky, and sitting to the left of me again is...
Hi, I'm Celines Bosque.
And our guest today is our good friend, Mila.
Hi.
Mila, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on the
Well,
show.
we enjoy having you on the program, and along with your sidekick, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
J-I-M. By the way, her guitarist, Jim, who's out there eating potato chips, looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It was so funny, oh my gosh.
So actually, I think we're going to cancel one of our songs today and just do a wrestling match.
Are you ready for
Or do
it?
that mixed wrestling match.
So-
The two of you against the two of us. Okay.
So tell the audience a little bit about who Mila is.
Well, I was born in Kiev, Ukraine originally, and I was writing poetry since I was 7 and songs since I was 13.
Now you call yourself a singer-songwriter/poet.
Yeah, because really poetry always comes first to me. I started writing poetry first, but my songs are very important lyrically. So usually words always come first to me, and then the melody and music comes.
Is your family musically oriented? Like, do you have family members in music, or is it just something you picked up later on?
Yeah, actually, it's a good question. My grandmother, who she's now passed down, but she did work at the music college rather, where I went eventually, and she was a piano teacher there.
Oh, okay.
Now Russian
Yeah.
was your first language, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now when you started writing your songs and writing your poems, was it in Russian or English?
It was the first in Russian. I didn't speak English till I pretty much came here. So,
Okay.
yeah.
How
Wow.
long have you been in the U.S.?
I guess 20 years now.
20
Wow,
years.
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Yeah.
So
But
you
you-
were still a kid when you came over here then?
Yeah, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So you
I'm still a
started
kid.
you started writing your poems
Yeah.
when you were a child?
I was 7, yeah.
Well, tell me about your poems. What were they like?
Well,
I mean, what
I
can a
always-
7-year-old kid
I know,
write
I
about?
was just thinking
You know?
that. What is a 7-year-old?
We're good. We work
Actually-
together. She can get into my mind.
Well, I wrote poems, and I also wrote short stories. My short stories were about different adventures. My very long short story was long short story. My first short story was about a pencil, adventures with a pencil. It was very
Adventures of a
fun.
pencil?
Yeah, he was a pencil. Like we walked around and made friends. And then the first poem was very happy about spring and all that. Sun, sunny days. But I think it was the first and only very happy poem I've ever written. Everything else was very deep and rather on the sad side.
Now, do you take your poems and put music to your poems?
Yeah, I try to, yeah. Usually it's either a poem or a songwriter. I know what it is going to be, pretty much. Very rarely does it go, I'm not sure.
So now with your songwriting,
Yeah.
what's your method?
I was going to ask that question.
Oh, see, that's scary.
Yeah, usually I come up with a phrase or even like a couple of lines or verse, and then the melody comes. And then I sit by the piano and compose, and sometimes I use guitar too.
A number of songwriters write about what has happened with them in life. Is that what you do?
Yeah, my songs, all of my songs are pretty much very, very personal. They're all based on personal experience.
Now, this is your latest album.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it. You have 20 songs on here.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
20
songs.
songs. You have
That's a
two
lot of
albums.
songs for.
I know. it's a
Sometimes
lot
actually
of
3
songs.
albums.
Yeah.
On here.
Yeah.
People nowadays 8 to 10 songs an album.
Yeah.
So it's in English and in Russian.
Yeah, well, this is an album that's very dear to my heart because I wrote most of the songs on this album. I wrote a while ago when I was just a teenager, and I wrote most of them just in Russian, and I translated them partially now into English. And as I was recording them, it really brought back a lot of memories about my life as a child back in Kiev, Ukraine, and what inspired the songs, like my favorite music teacher.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. Life in Ukraine.
Well, I went to music college, just like I said, where my
Over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
where my grandmother worked,
Yeah.
and it was a happy time for me.
What did you major in school?
I was actually chorus conducting.
Chorus conductor.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you knew you
conducting.
always wanted to be in the entertainment business, correct?
Yes.
What did you want to do? Did you want to be a performer, a vocalist, or a singer-songwriter, or did you want to be a conductor?
I wanted to write my own music, and conducting it kind of comes along with it if you conduct a band or an orchestra. But I always wanted to write my own music, write my own songs, and perform them, to be a performing songwriter.
Now, My Voyage Back, what does that mean? What's the theme of the album? So you have the title,
Right.
My Voyage Back. What is it all about?
It's because all of those songs are written so long, kind of a while back. I decided to call it
So
My
your
Voyage Back.
from
Yeah.
the U.S. to the Ukraine?
Yes. Only a spiritual voyage, though. So that's why
right.
it's kind of important to emphasize that.
So have you played anywhere? Any gigs? Anywhere?
Yeah, we played with my band or my trio. We played at Mehanata, the Bulgarian gypsy bar downtown.
Wow.
We also played at Benjamin Jim's, Arlene's Grocery, and since I now live in Mamaroneck, we play locally. We play at a Turkish restaurant and a local
You
restaurant
play
as
world
well.
music.
Yeah, I guess you can
Do
consider
you,
it
do you
world
like
music.
it? The energy you get when you're playing in front of a crowd versus?
Yeah, and actually right now we're trying to make our music more danceable because people tend to really get into it, especially when it has a beat.
Oh,
Too bad
yeah.
American Bandstand doesn't exist anymore. I rated it 10 because you can dance to it.
So, what do you see yourself for your future as far as your music?
I would like to extend, I guess, my audience. So that's why I want to go perhaps on a tour later on and perform my songs for different audiences.
Well, who comes out to see you now? You perform in Russian and you perform in English.
Yeah.
And your audience, they don't understand Russian, do they?
Yeah, that's interesting because the audience is very diverse. Like, for instance, at the Bulgarian bar, you have many people who do understand Russian. And when you go perform at like Banjo Jim's or Arlene's Grocery, there is very few people who speak Russian. But I noticed even on my MySpace page, a lot of my fans don't understand a word of Russian, but they just
neither do
love
I.
the
But
songs.
it's so
Yeah.
if it's catchy, if it has a
Yeah.
good beat, if it flows good,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's very dancey. So anyone who's got rhythm in their body is going
Right.
to get up, jump up, and do something, right? Like when we
Right.
had.
Got
Right.
rhythm.
Right.
How do you say the rhythms of New York in Russian?
Ритмы Нью-Йорка. Ритмы Нью-Йорка.
Rhythm
I like
New York.
it.
Yeah,
Rhythm
very
New
good.
York. Ooh,
Rhythm
I
New
like
York.
that.
My family from Russia and Ukraine as
Yeah,
well.
very good.
I love that. So we have a lot of young and old artists out there. Some are getting into this, some are not. What advice would you give them? Someone who's watching this show and they see you, what would you tell them?
Well, I would, definitely my main advice would be not to give up. Because sometimes you go to stages, you don't want to do it anymore, or the show didn't go well, you didn't get a lot of audience. You should just go out there and perform and get more and more fans. You know, even if it's one more person that likes your music, it's already enough. It's one more fan there for you on MySpace, on your webpage. You just need to establish the following. That's
Now, people can
important.
go on your MySpace page and your website to join your mailing list.
Yeah, they can go on. I have a website, Mila Music with a K.com.
Right, you can see it at the end of the show. We have it in the upgrade.
I'll make
Yeah,
sure
to
you
join
tune
my
in so
mailing
you know
list.
where to purchase her
By
stuff.
the way, I like the necklace that you're wearing.
Oh,
Is
thank
that
you.
from the Betty Rubble collection?
Actually, it's just from Lord and Taylor.
It's beautiful.
Looks like
though.
something the Flintstones would wear, you know?
But you have style. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you say, I guess, goodbye in
До
Russian?
свидания.
До свидания.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much for being on the show. Mila and Jim,
Thank you.
or Jean.
Thank you so much, Jim. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching the Rhythms of New York. До свидания.
The song is called To My Angel. Originally it was written in Russian and then I partially translated it into English and now the song is on my new CD, My Voyage Back. Oh my angel, I'm sending you my blessings, 'cause I'll never see you anymore. You'll forever be my only angel and my star that's shining through the storms. И своими осторожными лучами будешь ты меня касаться целый век. Образ твой я буду видеть за плечами тех, кто будет видеть мой успех. I will hear your steps in clacks and whispers, and one day when standing by the sea I will feel you breathing softly through the sunshine, through the waves still smiling at me. В бедность слов и неуклюжесть судеб будешь ты беззвучно проникать, и никогда друг к другу не приблизясь, будем мы друг друга хоронять. Oh my angel, I'm sending you my blessings, and I still believe that just like in a dream, you and I will meet again, my angel, realizing it was meant to be.
Thank you for tuning in to the Rhythms of New York. Thank you, Mila. Thank you, Jim, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And if you guys out there are interested in the music, make sure you tune to the end of the show and you can watch where to purchase her music.
Mila.
This song is called Joy, and it's one of my most recent songs, and it's a combination of the Russian gypsy and country styles. turn a corner, get on a bus, go someplace where there is no us. I can't face it, can't embrace it, and God knows I can't erase it, can't replace it, don't wanna chase it, and for sure can't outrace it. You give me joy, but I just can't face it. La 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 I go on and I knock on doors and I say, I've been looking for more. I look around at all the lights and say, I just want a life, but I can't face it, can't embrace it, and God knows I can't erase it, can't replace it, don't wanna chase it, and for sure can't outrace it. You give me joy, but I just can't face it. La 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 la. What if I just let go? What if I hit the road? What if I learn to accept everything you give, except I can't face it, can't embrace it, and God knows I can't erase it, can't replace it, don't wanna chase it, and for sure can't outrace it. You give me joy, but I just can't face it. Oh, I can't face it. I just can't face it. I just can't.
Hi, I'm Dave Brodsky, your great host and producer of the Rhythms of New York. We are upstairs in the control room where the magic happens. This is where we have the graphics. Right over here, if you can see this, is where we put our the Rhythms of New York logo. We also put the name of the individuals at the bottom of the screen. They're called lower thirds. And at the end of the taping, we actually have our credits rolling. Right over here, we have our little preview monitors from the 4 cameras we have downstairs. And up here, we have the preview screen of what is being shown, and we have what is on the air. Right over here, if you can see this, this is what is known as the switcher. We have 4 cameras, and when we pull up the cameras on preview, that goes on this camera, and when we have it over here, it goes to what is on the air. So we take this, and we have a show. Everything goes right over here. Maybe Al can show you what we have. This is where we have the, I guess, the brains of everything. It shows the tape decks, the oscilloscopes, how our signals look, what the strength of the signals is. And on the other side of the cabinet, I don't know if Al can show you that, this is where we have our audio board. We have lavalier mics, we have wired, we have wireless, we have handheld, wired, and wireless that come down from the studio. And here's where everything gets mixed, fed into our little system over here, and voila, we have our show. Al Carlton is taking the pictures now, and he's the guy who's the master behind our show, The Rhythms of New York. He does everything. Normally you have like 4 people working in here, sometimes even 5 people, but Al does everything. We often have Kevin or G4 doing the audio, but Al does everything else. Graphics, switching, handling the master decks, everything like that. And he's the one who determines where we do everything. He has headsets and he calls downstairs to the 4 camera people saying this is the shot that he wants to take, and hopefully they get the shot. Now, the Rhythms of New York is a program about the music culture from New York. We have bands from New York on the show. If you would like to be on the program, we welcome you. You have to do original music, and original music only, performed live in the studio. No backtracks, no CDs, live in the studio. We're looking for between 2 to 4 members of the band, sometimes 5. We're not looking to do solo acts. If you feel that you qualify to be on the show, or you would like to be on the show, you want more information, just get in contact with me. At the end of the show, you'll see the credits roll, and you'll see the phone number to call, the email address, and we would love to have you on. Salinas and I do a great job, we think, on the show, and we have literally hundreds of thousands of viewers in New York City and around the world. And I think that what we can do is we can help you promote your materials to the fans here in New York and also around the world. Well, again, this is Dave Brodsky, the host and producer of the Rhythms of New York, thanking you and thanking Al Carlton for helping me out with this little segment.
The Rhythms of New York is partially underwritten by Slap Energy Drinks.